One. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new stream on Wednesdays, at least for the next 6 or 7 weeks, depending on how long it takes us to do this. Dark Lore. Right? Currently, it's Dark Lore. Illithid? You have to say it just right. Illithid Activities. Get it? I need to get a sound effect. Ba-dum-bum.
Yep.
I am Jeremy Hochhalter. Welcome to the channel at WH Publications, short for Wanderers Haven Publications. I am not going to be running this game. The guy up there, DM John, is going to be. And so let's go ahead and do introductions and start with John.
Hello, my name is John.
Hello, John.
I am a malicious dungeon master, and will delight in all of your crying and gnashing of teeth. There will be great danger and challenge ratings that are obnoxious and wonderful and cruel.
Love it. How about Chaz?
Hello, I am Chaz. I am also a malicious dungeon master, although not a malicious dungeon master right now. I don't need to talk about my plans yet, but I'm excited to play for John. I have played with John, and one of my greatest memories is jumping into a random game where there was this guy with this glorious beard, and he's like, okay, I want to create a unicorn. And he created multiple unicorns by stabbing horns into horses.
Making unicorns, right.
They were all unicorns.
It's true.
They were?
Yeah.
So when, if anyone's ever seen that iconic image of the guy sitting there reading in his, his study or whatever, that was totally Chaz just now. He's looking down at his phone, and I call him, and he's just like, "Hello, I'm Chaz."
Didn't see you there.
Love it.
I was actually
Oh, you're actually reading a book. Wow. It's
Yes,
just off my screen.
welcome.
Sorry.
Come on in.
Yes, come into my study.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Breathe in the humidifier. It's dry there. Adela, tell us about yourself.
My name is Adela, and I'm excited to play with these guys again. Let's
Hooray.
see. Yes, I was previously a chicken master and rabbit.
Yeah, they were
I
bunnies.
think
Yeah.
we're going to take it in a different direction this time, so I'm very excited. Couple of plans. And
Love it.
yeah, we'll see. Thank you.
Excellent. Usually we would have Roz, but Roz had to bow out for today because she has a new position at her job. Congrats to her, but it meant that she is really busy this month, so she's going to be missing a bunch this month. Hopefully she'll be able to join us more next month. So that brings us to Gilbert.
Hello, that's me. I am Gilbert. I am an STN DM. I run a vampire game on Sundays on the Onyx Paths Twitch channel. I'm not interesting.
Whatever. You're so fun to game with, right?
But
We
I'm
need a
very
BS button.
excited-
Where's the BS button?
But I'm very excited to be a part of this and be here with all
Nice.
these lovely people.
What time is your show at on Sundays?
11:30 Eastern time.
Nice.
I've switched so many time zones; it's so hard to keep track.
Right? And Chaz, before I forget, the next couple of weeks, including this evening, you have a
Yes.
thing on
So
Onyx Path as
today-
well.
Next Wednesday and 2 Wednesdays from now, we will be finishing up our Scion game. Scion Demigods Become as Gods. Scion Become as Demigods. We should probably figure out the actual title. It has been so fun playing with 2 of the people on stream here. Sadly, the other 2 could not make it. But yeah, if you are interested in a group of ne'er-do-wells gaining tremendous power that they should definitely not have, and then fighting a force that even demigods can't destroy, i.e. TikTok, check us out.
Damn TikTok.
At, was it 9 o'clock Eastern? On
Yeah.
Wednesdays.
I think that is correct. And I guess I should throw my stuff out there on the 17th of April. If you are watching this live or watching it over the next couple of weeks, also on the Onyx Path, join Gilbert and Chaz and I and some other people for Cavaliers of Mars, which will be on the 17th at 11. No, crap, 2 p.m. Eastern. There we go. Freaking time zones again. Awesome. Well, let's jump in. Actually, sorry, the one other thing I was going to mention is the modules that we're going to be playing. So, Illithid Activities and the two that follow, all part of the Dark Lore series. John, I'm stealing your Dark Lore title because that was perfect.
Yeah.
Are actually Adventures League titles that I got to work with Joel Marsh to write. So go check them out. I'll post links to them over on or in the show notes. They're fun. John, go.
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and do a session 0. It's always a good idea when we're having a more than just a one-off to get an idea of who you guys are, particularly since we're starting at the cusp of tier 3.
Yeah.
It's important to have some party cohesion. Particularly since you're going to be going into some pretty challenging and hairy things over the course of these next 12 hours, suggested 12-hour adventure.
Yeah.
I'll find a way to turn it into 24. We're going to have like some Game of Thrones level descriptions of rooms. And then there was a door, and the door was made of wood, and the wood was finely carved like a piece of history that reminds you of this time 200 years ago when this lady had a glass of wine and she was wearing a red dress.
Why was it carved like a piece of future?
Yeah.
That's the version, yes.
It's the abridged Game of Thrones. Yeah, so we're going to be using Roll20. Roll20 has a very convenient charactermancer, so we'll be able to blast through characters as we go. I figure as we're leveling these characters up, we can talk a little bit about who they are, what kind of background you're envisioning for them, and then as we add the levels, we can start talking about like what sort of adventures you guys have been on as the levels go on, and we'll end at level 8, where your party is currently at, and we'll have an idea of the last thing you did before this adventure opens. We'll try and get you guys outfitted with some items and things that are appropriate to the adventures. And hopefully, we'll also be able to start with the legs running, pedaling those little Flintstone style cars that totally are the replacement for the cars that we currently have. We're gonna have Flintstone cars. So,
Right.
are you familiar with Roll20? Have any of you used Roll20 before?
No, not at all.
Once.
Excellent. All right, so inside Roll20, on the right-hand side of your screen, at the very top of the toolbar there, you'll see a chat icon. There's a photograph icon and then newspaper icon. The newspaper icon is your journal. So click on that. You should see your name. If you click on your name, it'll open up your character sheet, and then you'll scroll over to character sheet. I think is the verbiage for that. Does it give you an option to start Charactermancer?
It does.
Excellent. Start Charactermancer. The books I have on here in the compendium are the Player's Handbook and Xanathar's, I believe. There's a couple other resources. However, any Wizard of the Coast material that's been published is fine. Just make sure that you input the information because they won't be on the Charactermancer. We'll have to modify accordingly.
Okay. Yeah, at the bottom of the Charactermancer under race, there's like custom. So it looks like if you enter custom, you can go in and do your own stuff.
Yep.
So many options. I've never used the Volo's guide.
Yeah, I'm not a stickler for whatever materials I have on the system, just to make sure it's going to be a lot more manual if you're pulling something from a different book, whether it's like Willamount or called Tasha's or what are some of the other materials that come out? Mordenkainen's, Tome of Foes.
Yeah.
have some options, and then you've got the options from like, the one with the stuff when you were doing the things, and there was the,
totally.
The Princes of the Apocalypse had a book that came out after that, right?
Oh,
That had some
Skag, Sword Coast Adventures
Skag.
Guide. Yeah.
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 Yeah, there's some good stuff in Skag too. So
A lot of that stuff
don't feel
is
left
reprinted. Like some of that stuff
What?
is some of that stuff is reprinted in the other guides. So like Goliath was in Skag. It's also in Volos or one of the other books. So
yeah, sometimes you just got to recycle that stuff or make it. I guess that was an eventually thing
Volos.
where they're like, you're a pH +1, so let's try and like lump some stuff in there so it's
yeah.
not as much of a hassle. And then Tasha came around and was like, what are rules? Nah, do what you want, which is, I think, truly at the heart of the story. So are you guys all in your character mancers?
We are. I do have a question though, before
Yeah.
we like start choosing things. I guess race doesn't really matter too much, but like what kind of party are we? Like how do we all know each other? Because it might like forge what we choose. I don't know what this is. Whoop, this is forging. Whoop, whoop. So are we a bunch of humans from Neverwinter, or are we just like a ragtag band of fellows and fellowettes and peeps that could be anything? What do you all think?
I mean, maybe we all went to school together because we kind of did previously.
Yeah, harkening back to Chronicles of Porta Temporia, we graduated, went to a new reality, and here we are.
I think you're at the wrong
So
level
that's
for that.
Right. We regressed.
Matt, if you have amnesia is the cure for all in story.
Love it.
I'll have you know, Famine does not have amnesia. Ever.
War's pretending to have amnesia. It's really easy for her. If no one's like, I want to play this group of people that are like connected somehow, then I'm gonna go with Gith because I've never played a Gith.
Okay. Yeah, I like the whole like ragtag group who like just like find a common core, and then through trials and tribulations they begrudgingly become best friends who love each other, and they like put pillows underneath each other's heads, but they never accept it. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what are you guys thinking?
So, I'm thinking maybe a warlock this time around. Yes. And I still need to figure out how to get into my journal area. It's not.
So on the
giving
top,
me-
on the top right, do you see a chat box and then a newspaper and then like a circle with an eye in it? Do you see those?
No. No.
I wish I could.
Oh, you're not in Roll20? Are you? Are you
Oh.
in the game?
Hit launch
I don't
game.
think I'm in. Okay, I'm in the game now. Okay, there we go. Never mind. I got it.
So under the newspaper one, you should see your name.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Bio and information. Awesome.
Your first level in Character Mancer is going to be pretty intuitive. It's all click, click, click. Getting back into the Character Mancer is a little trickier, and we'll get to that when we're ready for level 2. What pact of, or even before we go to pact, what is your patron?
That's such a good question.
How
and
did
I'm
you
gonna
come-
have to figure this one out. I don't want to be evil. Super. I don't want to be
evil.
super evil. I wanna be
Warlocks
more
aren't
chaotic,
inherently.
So
Thank you.
what?
They're not inherently evil. They dabble in things sometimes that are unsavory, but not evil. Those bodies weren't being used. We had to have some answers.
It's
it's
recycling.
fine.
It's good for the
It was
planet.
fair.
Like, yeah, they're just going to turn themselves over into compost. It's fine. It's fine. It's more efficient. Yeah, how did you come upon this strong mystical power? What kind of deal did you strike to get it? Did you even know you had made a deal in the first place?
I didn't know that I made a deal, but I was out in the forest, hanging out with a pack of alpacas. And that's where it came up.
Excellent.
Sounds like Fae to me, but could be Fiend
Yeah.
too. Like one of
Does
the
sound
alpacas has horns for some reason.
Alpacas may have horns.
Could be also great old one. They don't know what kind of form that humans are most comfortable around,
Right.
so
Alpacas,
they
yes.
show up as an alpaca. It's suitable.
I'm just imagining this alpaca walking around with like tentacles for nipples for some reason.
Just dangling, kind of
Right?
swaying in the breeze.
Yes.
Is that milk? No, it's not. And don't drink it.
It's like taffy.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Broken. Oh
This is gonna
god.
be ridiculous. Alright.
Whew.
Perfect. Yeah,
It's
so
like
start clicking
coffee.
through the character mancer once you have it up there, Adela.
Okay.
It will eventually get you to your class, and then you can select Warlock 1, and it'll take you through the choices and spells and blah blah blah.
Okay. I'm
Right.
I'll do that.
Where are the other three of you at in the process?
So I have an
Wow.
idea.
Go ahead, after you.
I have an idea that was spawned because of a game I played, and that was all I could think of. I want a Sephiroth-based boy band Highlander. I must be the only one who can't sing at all, but he has all the boy band dance moves.
Alright.
So
Excellent.
you're-
That's amazing.
You're a bard?
No, because he can't sing. Like, he should at singing.
But bards can perform, like as dancing.
But if it, so I was like I workshopped bard in my head, and a workshopped fighter in my head. I was like, maybe I could be like a giant fighter because he has that like giant ass sword that he's like.
Oh yeah.
So I'm still workshopping that. I might go with undead warlock again because
Shocking.
shocking. Yeah, I keep trying to not be a warlock, and I always end up a warlock. So why don't I just like cut out the middleman and be a warlock?
Are we gonna have a party of warlocks?
Right?
Ooh.
I've never seen that before. I've seen a party of bards, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I've seen a party of barbarians, which is devastating destruction.
Oh my god, I want to play in that game.
Right?
It's a lot of fun. But I've never seen a party of warlocks. That could be very interesting. Especially if none of you have the same patron. That's even more
Just like,
interesting.
yeah. Go steal that patron's thing. No, yeah, just go steal it.
Right?
Okay.
It's all just a bunch of infighting.
Yeah.
But secretive. Gilbert, what are you thinking for class?
For class, I'm gonna go monk. I don't know what I'm gonna do for race though. I didn't think that far ahead.
Totally fair. So I know Roz
Tell me
wants
about
to
your
be
monastery.
a.
One more time.
Going, Jerry?
No, after you.
Oh no, just tell me about your monastery. What is your monastery all about? Are you guys like a Trappist monastery where you make beer? Are you a religious or esoteric monastery? Is it a militant monastery?
I was
Pacifist?
thinking. I was thinking pacifism. I didn't think that far ahead, if I'm being honest. But I don't know. I've never played a monk, so I don't.
They're
know.
fun.
Still got a lot of fleshing out to do.
So I know
Well, think about it.
Roz wants to be a necromancer, so we've got a wizard.
Find another one. Or what?
Right. Got a wizard, two
Wizards and warlocks.
warlocks, and a monk. I'm leaning towards cleric because of that, for some reason.
You guys don't need healing. No one needs healing.
Right?
Yeah.
Who needs healing?
The death domain is not in the list, and I can't remember what book it is, so I'm going to look that up. I might do grave domain.
Yeah, death is in the Dungeon Master's Guide as like a enemy subclass. I remember 'cause I was
Gotcha.
like, this is the best subclass. Why is this not like available to all people?
Right?
Do you want to be a death cleric?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Okay, I'm going to compare death and grave here real quick. All right, so death gets a necromancy cantrip of my choice. If it normally targets one creature, I can do two as long as they're within 5 feet of each other. That's pretty cool. Channel Divinity is Touch of Death. Sounds comforting. Destroy another creature's life force by touch. Does necrotic damage. That's pretty cool. Inescapable destruction. That sounds pleasant. Oh, I ignore resistance to necrotic damage. Excellent. And then we're level 8, right?
Correct.
So I get Divine Strike. I can infuse my weapon with necrotic energy. That sounds hot. Grave Domain. I learned to spare the dying cantrip. And when I normally roll one or more dice to restore hit points with a spell to a creature at 0 hit points, I use the highest number possible for each die. That's pretty sweet. For you guys, healing you guys.
If you wanted to be a healer.
Right.
But who wants to do that? There's no need for healing in this campaign. At all.
Yeah.
I can sense the undead. Blah, blah, blah. Channel of Divinity does... Marks another creature's life force for termination. What?
That does sound good. Hold up.
Cursing it. Next time an ally hits it, they're vulnerable to all of the attacks. Ooh, that's pretty sweet. Sentinel at death's door. I can impede death's progress. Oh, it blocks a critical from hitting one of my allies. That is useful. Not quite as cool as the death one. And at 8th level, right, 8th level, I add my wisdom mod to cleric cantrip damage.
And death also gets, I believe they can twin cantrips as long as they're within 5 feet of each other.
Yep.
Touch 2 people, which is awesome.
Okay, fine, I'm doing death.
Double.
Yeah. So, this sounds like, so we have 2 warlocks, a necromancer, and a death cleric, and a monk who is potentially a pacifist.
Pacifistic bond.
Pacifist
And
monk.
the monk is going to be so sad in this group. But I guess it's pacifist if you're using the dead to do your dirty work, right? Because they're doing the work. You're just back there. You're not actually doing damage.
Right?
Is there a death monk? There's a death monk, isn't there? There's
There
yeah.
is. Yeah.
there's what do they call?
Long death and
Welcome to
yeah,
Long
but
Death.
yeah.
It's what's your patron there, Chaz?
Oh, since Sephiroth is connected to like Genova, I assume that he would have come in contact with this like undead Genova thing that gave him all his like undeady warlock powers.
All right, yeah, sure. I'll poke around and look at some patrons. Adela, do you want that to be your patron as well?
Froth action? Sure.
I mean, your experience with the patron maybe is slightly different than Chaz's experience with the patron, as yours came to you in the form of an alpaca, because it was the only way you probably would have been able to truly understand, its majesty, and you inadvertently probably agreed to serving it because you were like, "Yes, alpaca, I'll give you whatever you want," and it's like, "Good, good." But your patron's not evil. It's neutral mostly. I'll find a neutral patron that really is into death. And a necromancer, a death cleric. Death cleric, who is your god or goddess?
Oh, hang on. Forgotten Realms gods.
Most of them are evil.
Right? Oh,
I'll
Kellenor.
let you take a god of life, and you just happen to be
The other side.
The other side. You're a small sect. Sometimes it has to be done because life and death kind of go hand in hand.
Right?
Uh,
I'm going to go with Kellenvor for now.
Kellenvor. All right, cool. So, cleric of Kellenvor, how did you meet Chaz's warlock for the first time?
I do a lot of shows. I guess at level 1, it would have been like not so much shows as just like me outside my front door doing a dance and doing my theme song.
Right? So I probably was like walking through town and saw this and felt bad, so threw, some coinage into his like little guitar case or whatever with a big smile.
My first patron. Well, I guess my second patron.
Right? Yeah. And then, going back through town a couple days later, I was like, "Oh, you're still out here." And I would introduce myself and feeling bad for him, but obviously pretending not to. I'd be like, "So do you have a job?"
I would, I guess, have to put on my like most nonchalant boy band looks. Like, my job is to entertain, but there's so many phonies out there. I need to really let people see the truth behind my art.
Well, it's funny because if you are interested in travel, I could always use an entertainer to go with me. Do you have any skills besides your amazing dance?
My skill is my art, and I don't think I should just leave here. But I think I could make an exception because you do recognize my greatness. Hair flip.
So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, so he has no skills, but I think I can run faster than him. And so keeping that in mind with I don't have to run faster than the Zorn or, the Dire Bear. I just have to run faster than
I mean,
Chaz's
I do have
character.
the abs out because it's a boy band, so it's the shirt that's like
Oh,
showing
yeah.
off.
Super tight. Nice.
Super tight, yeah.
Perfect. Chaz, how did your character meet Adela's?
If we theoretically have the same patron, I assume the night before I left, I went to wherever this like weird mutant undead creatures just like around my village, and like, hey, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna go spread my dance moves. And then maybe she's like, before you leave, go to the alpaca fields.
It's right. It feels right to me. So
And I go there and I see a whole bunch of alpacas, and one really strange alpaca, who is like human shaped and not alpaca shaped. So clearly, my job is to like protect this alpaca who doesn't understand how to be an alpaca.
Fair enough.
clearly, yes.
And Adela, how did you meet Gilbert's character for the first time?
You know, I was out on a walk with some alpacas and had some coffee, and we happened to come across each other on the outskirts of a town. I can't tell you the name of that town, but I can tell you that it was beautiful. It was early, there was dew, and I offered some coffee to him.
I would have been
So,
sitting petting alpacas.
we enjoyed a great conversation.
So you guys had a nice conversation, and then decided to adventure, or did you part ways and then meet back up later on?
Say that we had a good, just mellow conversation about not feeling very strongly about anything in particular, and my interest was piqued because most people have a strong feeling about good and evil, good and bad. But this guy, he was intriguing to me, so I just wanted to kind of follow him around with the alpacas.
With the alpacas. And Gilbert, your monk, how did you meet the cleric of death, Kellenvar?
Traveling around, I settled on Blue Dragonborn, by the way. So, just traveling, probably sustained injury, was looking for a cleric, somebody to heal.
You found me instead.
Conversation started about, well, you're a cleric, right? Can't you heal me?
I mean, technically I can, and because you're blue, I find that fascinating. And so I will heal you. Although when I heal you, it looks like rot spreads over your wound first,
That's not comforting.
and then fades away and looks normal.
That would raise a lot of questions, and I would probably be very interested in that. The duality of healing with rot and things that most people might consider bad.
I mean, it is just a part of life to fade away into food for the worms.
I couldn't agree more. People spend too much time worrying about death.
It is true. It is true. They should enjoy the flavors of life before they go to Kellenvor to be judged.
Are you guys finished with level 1?
How do you want us to do ability scores? Do you want us to do standard array, or
we can do one of 3 ways. It's up to you guys. You can roll the dice, and I think it's 46 reroll ones. Drop the lowest, or you can go point by, which I believe is under the standard array point by, or you go under standard array, which is also super easy. Whichever is clever. There's no preferred method. How would you guys like to do it?
I'm down to roll. I always enjoy the fear.
I'm like,
The fear.
I am going to be super dumb this time.
All right. Well, go for it's 46. Reroll ones. Drop the lowest. That should give you a decent average. I'm not going to let you have a 3. Let's avoid horribly crippled characters. So we'll review your numbers and make sure you've got a good spread.
Ew.
I mean, trees are fun to play. Don't get me
Did
wrong.
I get a 4 on something? Oh, that's not great.
Oh, okay. So let's take a look at this. So the 6. So any of those that have 1s on them. So like Gilbert, your 12, you want to reroll a d6 and then drop whatever's lowest, etc.
Gotcha. I have no idea how to do that.
So on the left-hand side, there is another toolbar with an arrow pointer and a cube and a paintbrush, a magnifying glass, right? The second to the bottom is a dice. You can click on that, and it'll either pull up a dice roller, or if you scroll over it, a little mini bar will come up with a number of dice. You can roll d4, 4d4, etc. Or another option is in the chat box. If you click on the chat icon on the right-hand side, the little toolbar there,
Gotcha.
in the box at the bottom, you can do a /R space 1d6, and that should
Copy that.
also roll your d6. I think on your list there, Gilbert. Why is this not scrolling? Come on. You need to re-roll that 6.
And to
And
reroll
that's
the
12.
12. Copy. So,
Yeah,
I don't know
6
if
and
I
the
did
12.
that right. I don't think I did in there.
so
All right,
that
so
for
Let
the
me go back to this.
12.
But you can see you can hover your mouse over the number. It will show you the dice that were pulled.
Hmm.
6. Oh, that's much better.
Yeah. The 12, since it was roll 46, dropped the lowest. The 12, they already dropped the 1. So is that good, or you want me to?
Oh, does it actually drop? It would just drop the 1.
Yeah. So I got the other dice were the 5, 5, and the 2, which is the 12.
Replace it with a 6.
Hold on. I'm just hitting buttons to see what works. Sorry, guys.
Drop the
Nice.
2 and add the 6. Take the 17. 16.
Gotcha.
Sorry. 16 is math.
16.
Then that 6 down there, you definitely need to re-roll those 2 1s.
Gotcha. 16, and that is.
Chaz, you got
The roll for stats, like how Chaz has in there.
there should be. Let me go into your sheet real quick, Adela, and see why is this acting so slow right now. Computer.
Is that a computer?
I mean, I've got the options of like, D4, D6, D8, all of that, and then however many. So if it's like 2 of them I'm rolling, or 3 or 4 or 5. And then there's like the D100 and then fudge, whatever that means.
Oh, ignore the fudge. That's nothing. No, but on your character sheet, you're in the character mancer, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I've got both screens up, like the game thing and then my actual character sheet that I'm still trying to complete.
Oh, looks like my Discord is trying to update, and that's why my.
Of course.
Why are you trying to update right now? Yeah, it's eating up 86% of my CPU right now. Oh. Okay, let me try and reload your sheet because my computer is currently hating it. So otherwise, I mean, I could pop in there and help you out, but I can't.
Sure.
Can't get in right. So when you're going through your character mancer, like what do you see right now on your sheet? Do you see?
Well, I'm in the background right now, so let me get into abilities. It's in the ability one, right?
I see. Okay. So yeah, abilities will. There should be a section there where you can select how you want to generate your stats, and then we can manually change those as we need
Did
to.
it. Done. Awesome.
Boom. Let me take a look here real quick. It's still loading. It's thinking about it. I mean, I'm just glad that I'm on Roll20. Otherwise, I think my computer would have a meltdown. All right, Adela. Let's take a look.
Huzzah!
All right, so yeah, you want to re-roll that 1 on your first stat.
Okay.
You're going to want to re-roll the 1 on the next stat. Oh man, you got a bunch of 1s. You're going to re-roll both those 1s on number 3. You can just hit the roll for stats again if you want, because all of them are just loaded with 1s.
I was just happy that it did it. Okay. How do I
There you go.
roll just to replace?
Do you have the means to edit the stat directly in there?
You'd have to record what you already have rolled, and then write down the new stuff you rolled, and then just do custom, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just manually put them in. Otherwise, at the end of your character mancer, just write down your stats, and we could just manually put them in. It's real fast. Whichever is easier. But yeah, you've got a couple in there as well, Adela. That see, the 10 sticks. 13 needs to reroll the 1. 16. Come on. It's thinking about it. Come on. 16 sticks. So far I need you to roll me 1d6, 2d6. Come on. Come on. It wants to. 3d6.
We just allocate the stats wherever we feel,
Yep.
or
However you feel like putting them down.
gotcha.
Does that make sense, Adila?
Kind of. I mean, I'm like re-rolling a d6 and just kind of.
Okay, so I'll call out, I guess the new number for you. So that'd be so you've got a 10, and that 4 will make roll 2 a. Oh shit! What happened? Oh, my computer's so mad at me right now. Hold on, it's thinking. So 4 and a 4, so that's 13 becomes a 14.
And then I've got a 2d6 roll with a
Yep.
7.
All right. 5 and a 2. Okay. So you've got a 10, a 14, a 16, a 13, not the 10. 2. 2 doesn't change the 12 either. And then your the last one, roll 6, is, I believe, a straight roll as well. Oh, come on. Why don't you want to work?
If you, it won't be a huge issue. If you want to hit that update button and then rejoin us real quick, it shouldn't take too long.
I don't see an update button. It's just automatically doing it. And I could have sworn I turned off all the automatic stuff.
Is in the top right hand corner-ish, is there a green downward facing arrow
On Discord?
on Discord? Yeah.
No. I'm not seeing it.
It is not ready then.
Ugh. Man. That's obnoxious. Well, I guess it is what it is. So won't be able to, do a lot of diving into your sheets and editing for you guys. So, but yeah, did you get those updated numbers there, Adela?
I think so. You're saying 10, 14, 16, 13, 12, and 12? Is there
Yep.
one more?
13
That's
is your
it.
last number.
What is the last number?
13.
13. Okay.
Yeah. So this
Okay.
method generates a pretty decent set of stats. You're a little bit beefier, a bit more well-rounded. You've had time in your travels and done things that are above and beyond Adventure League constraints.
Okay, I have to ask. After doing the character mancer, my initiative is negative 0.91.
So the point 0.91, I have tiebreakers turned on. So when you
Gotcha.
roll the what's your dex right now?
It's a -1, so it should be -1. And I was just like, why is it that? But with the tiebreaker, that makes sense.
It's tiebreaker, yeah. So you're point negative, so when you roll the same number as somebody else, you'll have the dice roll point whatever. So that way it's no debate as to who goes first between the two who have the same number. It's
Gotcha.
a little bit more streamlined. Plus, I like decimals randomly in a game. That sounds like fun.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, whatever. Man, decimals, fine. Who needs to round when you can do a dot? How are we doing on those level ones? Are we just about wrapped up?
Just about. Is everybody waiting on me? Is that what's happening here?
No,
I
I'm
don't know.
still. I just am finishing up background.
Okay.
While we do this, we'll do another exercise, and I forget who does this. It's a Monty Cook. It's not Monty Cook. Who was that? I think it's Monty Cook, wasn't it? When you were running the playtest of Jeremy, the Numenera.
That's Monty Cook. Yep.
Yeah. It's Monty Cook. Yeah. So I think part of the character creation system in there, which I really liked, had a lot of social things that bound characters together. So Jeremy, or no, we need to go in the opposite direction. Yeah. So Jeremy, what secret have you told or confided to the monk?
I actually will use my bond for that because I have an ancient text that holds terrible secrets that must not fall into the wrong hands. So at some point, probably while drinking, I was just like, so I've got this book and it has these horrible pictures of like naked people and corpses doing things that I just like would never do sober. Um So I have told the monk about this book that must never fall into the wrong hands. It's really like the Kama Sutra for necrophilia. Kama necrophilia. Right.
Blasphemous.
Blasphemy.
Gilbert, what have you confided to Chaz?
Likely that while I maintain a pacifistic lifestyle, I don't understand why killing is taboo. I don't really understand why a lot of things are taboo and why they are considered evil or wrong. I don't. There are just things. We assign evil and good to actions, but they're just actions. So while I understand that the social norm and the what is acceptable, I don't understand why.
I don't think that.
Chaz, what did you confide to your co-conspirator, your compatriot, your conflicting warlock? And it's not really sure. I mean, it's probably fine. But what have you confided to her?
So clearly, this is a test to me given by Genova. So I will find her one time and say. By the way, Adele, are you like a human? Are you
Human elfish.
elf? Okay. A half human, half elf. A health.
A health.
Okay. So then I will find the health, and Jeremy, are you also a human? No, you are a.
I would guess, yeah.
Yes, okay. So then I'll be like, I assume at this point I would be like the face looking all human, and I'll be like, so you know how I pretend to be human all the time? And then I will reveal my two blackened wings of the fallen ASMR.
And his face does that Beetlejuice thing, and you're just like, whoa.
Oh my god.
Perfect. This
If
is a
this is
motley
a yeah. And then I'll watch to see if like so she lights up like I like got the correct answer on the test, like on Jeopardy or some shit. But I guess that didn't happen.
And then Adela, what secret did you confide to the monk?
Now this I don't even know where to begin. To the monk. So I'm gonna keep it kind of mainstream, I think. Oh my gosh, you guys. My
Could be your-
secret, huh?
I was gonna say, could be your parentage, maybe, like, because you're a half elf,
Right.
Health.
Health. Okay. I need this. This is helpful to me. I'm gonna say that I am of elf royalty, but
Ooh.
my dad took in a human maid. So it's very frowned upon. But the maid was also from the circus. So she was acrobatic, hence that's why he wanted to take her in.
Yeah, yeah.
What was her role at the circus? Was she like an acrobat, or was she like the person who like shovels out the elephants?
Absolute
Area.
acrobat. 100%.
Nice.
Well, no wonder the warlocks get along, you know? Dancer came from a fine line of acrobats.
Right?
Yeah.
Love it.
Perfect. Right. Are you guys ready for level 2?
Yeah, I guess
Yes.
so.
All right, cool. So on your character sheet,
Mm-hmm.
on the right-hand side, there's a little gear. Do you see the gear?
Mm-hmm.
So that takes you into the guts of your character. Ignore most of that stuff in there. It's all weird science. But at the very bottom right-hand corner, it says Character Mancer level +1, I believe.
Yes.
Click on that. We'll move into the next part of
Pew.
this session 0 as you move into your next levels.
Ooh, where was that part again?
So on your front character sheet, right?
I got
You
I
see
got
the
the
stats on
gear.
the right and left. There should be gear on the right-hand side.
Right
Hit
next
that.
to the spells. It's like core bio spells and then the gear.
So go to core,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the core sheet, on the right-hand side, there should be a gear, a little tiny gear, like a little tiny square and a little gear inside of it.
Yep.
If you click on that, that gets into the internal guts of your character. Ignore everything. We can go into like what some of that does if you want to do some customization, but let's not worry about it right now. On the bottom right-hand side of that gear sheet is the Character Mancer level system. You
So,
click
like
on that.
the launch level 1.
It's
I'm
level
still
1.
very lost on that. I apologize.
That's okay. So where are you on your sheet there, Gilbert?
I am under the race section.
Oh, you still haven't finished the Character Mancer.
Ah, okay.
Are you still in
That
level
makes
1?
sense. I don't even see a spot for level.
Hold on. Let me see if I can actually get into your sheet. Stand by. Let's see if I can do this. It's thinking about it. So you haven't gone through the class stuff yet, right?
I've done the class. I've done the class, the race, the abilities, the background, equipment. I thought the only thing I had left was bio, but I might have missed something.
But you haven't finalized your first level, right? You haven't said complete?
Negative.
Okay. All right. So once you're done with that, your core sheet should then be visible. It'll have generated everything that you need for your first level, minus any adjustments we need to make. If there are any adjustments that need to be made, those can all be done manually. It's pretty straightforward and painless. Yeah, I can't get into your sheet because my Discord's updating. It's great. Oh, I need a new computer, lads.
Indeed.
I know. It's gonna have to.
It's a
Gonna have to happen.
GoFundMe to get another computer.
Right?
Well, I mean, I've got some, Christmas bonus I could probably still spend on upgrading this thing and just see if maybe some beefy hard drive stuff and RAM and things that are other things that sound like technology. Those things will make it work.
I'd totally
yeah,
pitch in and just be like, hey, we just got stimulus checks. I pitch part of that in if I didn't have to take my dog in to have 9 growths removed from her.
Are you serious?
It's true, but she got her stitches out yesterday, but it was expensive. We were like, hey, look, checks. Here you go.
Yeah. You're like, ooh, I got a check, but
It's funny when the vet starts calling your dog the $1 million dog. You're just like, yeah, thanks. She's totally worth it.
So I
though.
finished character
All right.
answer at the gearbox.
So then you're going to go to your core sheet. So you're going to open that sheet up again and then go to core. And then in that little strip where core is, core, bio, spells, I think, the last one's going to be gear. So you're going to click on the gear, and that opens up the guts of your character. Ignore all of that, and go all the way to the bottom right-hand corner. And it should be launch character mancer level something. Level
It's
1,
like level plus.
Yeah, level plus.
level
character.
plus.
yeah, because I've got 2 launch level 1 character Mancer, and it says cannot be undone, and then the second one below that says launch level plus character.
Yeah,
Mancer.
second
Yeah,
one.
to do launch level plus character. This will actually allow you to do all the way up to 8 in one go.
Do you want us to just do that?
So that's
Yeah.
so handy.
Super
Yeah.
handy.
Okay.
It's not the most intuitive system, but it's thorough, which is nice. But yeah, it's not as fancy or as polished as things like the Forge or Astral. There's not a lot of. It's not as pretty.
So it's asking me to choose my domain again, but it doesn't have a custom to do the death domain.
Choose your domain again.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have. Oh, it's probably because I don't have the Dungeon Master Guide, so we may have to go in and modify some stuff.
I'm just not going to choose it because I already put all of the stuff for all the way through level 8. I put it on the sheet, so I'll just ignore that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go through the Character Mancer if you don't want to. You can go and just manually change things. So you can go through and update your stats directly to reflect ASIs or feat bonuses. And then on the core sheet on the right-hand side, you can always add this little plus mark down at the very bottom. You've just probably blasted through all of that. But for those of you in Character Mancer, for stuff that is in the compendiums available for the game here, you should be able to blast through that easily. Should have some of the Xanathar warlocks and monks. All of the Xanathars, monks, and warlocks.
Did
While
you
you
want
guys
us?
come,
Did you want us to roll for HP or just take the average?
that's up to you. However you want. If you don't roll over, I think if you roll a 1, you can re-roll or something, or treat 1s as 2s. I'm not going to make you take a 1. That's just cruel. Because your cleric doesn't heal. Only murders. While you guys are going through your next 7 levels, tell me about your first adventure.
Now, did
As
we
a
meet each
group?
other? Yeah, right. Exactly my point.
As
Yeah.
a group. Like, what was it that you all worked towards, or solved, or killed, or whatever it is that you did? What is it that your party did that cemented the party as the party? So we're talking like between level 1 and probably 4.
Well, you know, we do have 2 warlocks that probably have patrons that are like, "Hey, go do this." So, what did the patrons need from you to begin with?
I mean, there was probably this bard in a town down over yonder that was up to no good, and there can be only one.
Did he steal your dance?
He stole my dance. Maybe Genova was like, "This is a failed experiment. Now I need you to clean up what should have been cleaned up already." And we had a bard off, and when he beat me because he had actual skill, I had to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if everyone else is down with that. I am very willing to like alter.
I'm down with it.
Maybe
We
this
can take
bard
I'm
was.
down with it.
Maybe this bard was also like attacking children's.
Or alpacas.
But really, the problem is there could be only one, and so he had to go.
So was this murder like a blatant murder in the street, or what did you like? How did this go down?
I think it was a very public humiliation when the bard beat me, but it wouldn't be blatant in the street. Genova is, very secretive. So maybe I was like, "Hey, let me buy you a drink. Come to my room of the inn, where we can all like get to know you better." And then we had to leave very quickly.
Wasn't a clean hit.
No, with a sword that long, no.
Fair enough. So you formed an adventure, probably one going after this bard, having the bard off, murdering the bard in the end, and then a large part of your adventuring probably was kind of hightailing from the law, more than likely. Not that you're criminals, just suspects, and if you cross county lines, I'm sure it's fine, right? It's
I think
county
so.
lines in favor. Yeah, it's county lines. Excellent. I would assume that probably the heat, cools down by level 5. You're moving into a new tier. At this point, you probably move to a different part of the region. You're maybe have left the Sword Coast and you've moved east, or you've come from the east and you've moved back to the Sword Coast. Up to you guys. What is it that? What is the big threat that you set off to deal with between the levels of 5 and 7?
There should be like, fighting against some evil oppressor of a town of some sort.
Sure.
Have you heard of the town Hillsfar?
Yeah, like an evil, somehow demonic
Ooh.
mayor or lord of the land, oppressing all the alpaca farmers. I don't know.
Evil bastards.
Right? Ugh.
Saving the alpacas. Probably somewhere out near Yartar, there's a new alpaca farm that was formed. I mean, mostly horses are bred out in Yartar, but alpacas, they're the new thing. They're portable, they're cute, and they produce wonderful sweaters.
The most exceptional.
Yeah. So yeah, you took down a bad man who did bad things to alpacas. You liberated all the alpacas, which took some time because there were a lot of them. Which
The
moved us.
alpacas and the farmers. Like, it was a moneymaker for that town.
So you liberated the farmers too.
We should, because that's the right thing to do.
So yeah, you'll be leaving that section of your experience there as heroes of Yartar. So it's a formal title you can use to describe your greatness at this level. We'll do another quick round robin here, starting with Adela. Adela, what was something that you did accidentally or intentionally to complicate something that the Death Cleric was doing?
To complicate?
Whether intentional or not.
Okay. Because I was overwhelmed with the cuteness of the alpacas and really endeared by the town because all the people were just so kind, I inadvertently posed the option of focusing on their economy to help them do a better job, but that was against what the Lord of the land had wanted. He essentially wanted to put in some subdivisions and maybe drill for some kind of ore of something or another. And I foiled his plans because I got the support of the locals. So, didn't go well. Didn't mean to do it. I was just excited. Yeah.
Excellent. And Chaz, what was something that your warlock did to, whether intentional or not, complicated something that the monk was doing?
Well, I mean, the monk did say at some point that he didn't fully understand like why death is a problem, and I was like, you know what, you're right. Like, I think they're like beholden to this weird idea that death's a problem. Like, everyone dies all the time. And so like overall, like over the course of the adventure, I would constantly be reinforcing that idea. Like, maybe death is not that bad. And if you'll allow it, maybe one day I'll be like, hey, I'll kill something and you could just have your hand on the sword just so you can see how it feels. Like, you're not killing, but I'm just like being a great influence on this, like experimenting with the taking of life.
Right?
Yeah, just put your hand on the sword. It's fine. Okay, and then I'll push, and there you go. It's not that bad, is it?
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I would take
you guys are so
vivid
cool.
notes.
Oh man. So what did the monk do, whether intentional or not, to complicate something that the Death Cleric was doing?
Easy. I don't know if it would be intentional, but I mean, I guess the act of it would be intentional. We have 2 warlocks and a cleric. I would try to find a patron. I would be like, I want someone who's going to give me things, and I would go out and I would go out and shake hands with the first person who offered, and then find out that person was awful and offered me nothing. We had to deal with that whole mess.
And what? So how did that interfere with what I was doing? Was I like, at the time, was I trying to recreate the images inside of the Kama Sutra necrophilia, or?
Yeah, it was just, I know you're doing a thing right now, and that you have your own stuff to do. But this dude took literally all of my stuff and he said he was going to give me power, like you have, and he didn't give me anything. So
But perhaps he
really
gave you
appreciate some help.
a learning experience.
Oh, like if I believe in myself, like
Right.
that's where the power comes from. Okay,
You don't need me right now.
try really, really hard to believe, and then just keep bothering him. Like it's not working.
Okay, fine. Let's go get your shit.
And the Death Cleric, how did you inadvertently or intentionally complicate something that the shepherdess of alpacas was doing?
So I'd noticed that they were getting really like clumpy in their fur. And so just, as a favor, I went out one morning and just sheared them, and I didn't realize you're not supposed to shear them in the middle of winter. Why would you think of anything like that? I don't raise alpacas, Jesus. And so she
So
had
there
to
were-
like go and get them like knitted sweaters so they would survive through the rest of that winter. It was a very tense time in our like little hovel.
Perfect. You guys have any issues with the Charactermancer on levels 2 through 8?
So far, so good.
I think it's going all right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Does your party have a name? I mean, you've made a name for yourself. You're already the heroes of Yartar. Those who travel with alpacas, or another term that you may be referred to as. How do you introduce yourselves to potential employers or quest boards?
I mean, or are we beastmasters almost?
They are technically beasts.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Beasts of burden.
I'm fine with any name that can be like a boy band name. We could do Beast of Burden. We are the Beast of Burden.
Beasts of burden.
Sure.
All right, cool. The Beasts of Burden, Heroes of Yartar. Excellent. Della, are you going for any particular pact? If you went with Pact of the Chain, I'm sure we could do something with an alpaca. We could probably do some sort of alpaca familiar.
Okay. I mean, I'm down for that. Act of the Chain. I have to look it up. I don't know what it is.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll skin something up for you, depending
Okay.
on the nature of your patron. Who sounds like, I don't know. Is it a fae patron? Is it a fiend? Is it an old one? I mean, you're an undead patron, right? You're undead.
Yeah. Pact of the Undead.
Pact of the Undead. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm using in Travis's game. So lots of like undead and spookiness and necromantic power. At level 10, when I die, I get to explode.
That's exciting.
I just like actually like, oh no, I died. Explosions.
Kind of hard to come back after that, though, right?
Let me see. Do they say anything about that? Your connection to undeath and necromantic energy now saturates your body. You have resisted necrotic energy. If you're transformed using form of dread, you instead become immune. When you reduce to 0 hit points, you can cause your body to explode. Each creature within 30 feet of you, so everybody, including my friend, takes necrotic damage equal to 2d10 plus your warlock level. You then revive with 1 hit point in your previous space along with your gear, and you gain 1 level of exhaustion. Once you revive this way, you cannot do so for 1d4 long rest.
Wow. Pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I was kind of hoping like I just like explode. They have to like shovel me back together. Like we gotta go.
Spray of viscera just everywhere. Yeah.
We would need a sound
Necrotic
effect.
Hmm?
We would totally need a sound effect for that.
Yeah.
Gib.
Excellent. Any questions so far? Any questions for each other's characters? Anything that you want to establish before we move into the first chapter?
I think I sort of misunderstood of our conversation about what I did inadvertently or inadvertently to mess with people. It was more like the town that I kind of messed with. So I want to inadvertently, Chaz, I'm gonna be knitting you sweaters all the time that are like pink and happy.
No, people don't
Yeah.
want a boy band with pink and happy sweaters. I can't wear this, but I also can't rip it up because you're like Genova's alpaca, and if I throw away a gift, that's like,
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to inadvertently be continually just like making gifts, but you're just going to hate everything.
And
You're
you're
going to
so
hate it
itchy.
all.
I have a concert tonight. I can't go. Fine.
But I will make you a sweater that's a crop sweater to show off your abs.
Love
Oh,
it.
okay.
Because you mentioned one time, and I remember these things. Trying to be thoughtful.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Any other questions or things you want to establish before we start? We'll roll Roz in, the necromancer, fairly quickly. We'll get her caught up. But are there any other things that you want to? Oh, and another thing that we need to probably also, because it's session 0. Are there any? Not that there's anything questionable in this material, but it's good to know where the lines are. As far as gore or anything that might be triggering.
So no bestiality, but necrophilia is okay.
No bestiality, but tons of necrophilia. All right, that works for me. Although I don't think that there's actually anything that would lead to that in this particular module.
It like the series is Adventure League accepted, so there aren't any.
Yeah. Now, there shouldn't be anything too crazy, but like sometimes gore can be a trigger. Sometimes horror themes can be a trigger, or like psychic torture can be a trigger. There's some darkness in this particular trilogy that deals with some dark stuff. So it's just want to know just make sure that we're okay with that. As a good session 0 should cover. Is there anything that you'd like to see happen with the story, like avoiding like rocks fall, you die? Do you want to deal with travel?
I mean, we could see how fast we can TPK, or not. Just throwing it out
there are a few pretty hoss encounters in there. One in particular I'm super excited about running because it's so cool.
Nice.
It's so cool. And I'm glad I'm on this side, not on the other side. Not that I don't have faith in you guys. I'm just saying that
It'll be fine.
there's darkness out there. What's your something about fava beans and Chianti. Any questions so far? No? Pretty straightforward. I guess over the course of the week, I'll try and like cobble together notes of discussed here. Feel free to add in and flesh it out, and we'll just kind of play a little bit of round robin so that we have some good backdrop. I'm going to start you guys. So start thinking about this at a very well-known pub called the Whistling Wizard.
I know that one.
You do know that one. It's a great little pub.
Whew, go there all the time.
All the time. It's great. The Whistling Wizard. To give you a little bit of background here about you're going to be walking into this place, and of course it's loading. I had the web page pulled up and everything. Like it's right here. I can see it. There we go.
Hold, please.
Oh, it is what year? I scrolled down like 3 lines, and now it is year of the turret, 1360 DR. You are in the outskirts of Vunlar, north from Shatterdale.
Hmm.
There's a whole bunch of people gathered around, having themselves drinks in this place. But there is a very unusual tension in the air. Not the sort of tension in the air you would normally find in a seedy bar. This is not a seedy bar. This is a wizard bar that's kind of seedy. Very different. Distinctly different.
They're actually kind of
opening-
used to it when I bring in undead, and the necromancer brings in her undead, and
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you guys are required to, of course, register your undead. And there is a small little holding area, where they can stand or shuffle, depending on the type of undead they are.
okay.
The only thing not allowed here, there's only one thing that is expressly forbidden, and that is anything reptilian. The barkeep here is super against snakes. Doesn't like lizards. Frogs are pretty much questionable. She's pretty doesn't like the reptiles, but none of you guys are reptiles, right?
I am a
Jeremy looks-
dragonborn.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Dragonborn's fine. You don't slither. Your dragonborns are fine. You're blue dragonborn, right?
Correct.
Excellent. How's your relationship with dragons?
Again, I don't understand why some are evil, some are good. It seems trivial. They just seem the chromatics just seem selfish, and I don't think that's inherently evil.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So we're gonna start in the bar.
I'm going to pretend like I also have a cool beard.
You just have a cool beard.
I'm just like,
Just gotta be in lockdown for for a year. And you can't get it cut, so you just
It's
grow
not
it.
as good as John, so now it just itches. It doesn't stroke well. It just
Right.
fucking itches.
You gotta stroke it. You just keep stroking it, and then it'll eventually grow out. You just pull on it. You're just like,
oh,
here.
that's what I don't do.
Pull it down on it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's where we'll start. That'll be a good place to meet your necromancer friend, and then we'll take the story from there into chapter 1, where shit begins to hit the fan. Sort of.
Hooray.
It does. Yeah, it hits the fan. And there was horror and darkness and
Hooray.
alpacas.
And alpacas of darkness.
Alpacas of darkness. Yeah, it'll be a whole thing. Yeah, I'm into it.
Love it.
Dark alpacas. Yeah. So if you're back with the chain, I'll definitely get you a alpaca familiar. That'll do
Okay.
pretty sweet alpaca stuff.
Careful, they spit.
Yeah, I love
Red
acid
eyes
spitters.
and horns, and it's beautiful black.
Yeah, like a
Love
llama
it.
corn.
Llama corn. Yep.
It's a llama corn. Perfect. Perfect. All right, we'll make that a llama corn. It's a step above an alpaca, really. It's a
A little bigger.
a Feywild creature that spits acid, has a horn, and it's
Yep.
just surly. It's very surly, I'm sure.
Surly.
But
I
regal.
like that. I like it.
Yeah.
What's your alpaca's name?
Homer.
Palmer?
I love it.
Homer.
Nice.
Excellent. Excellent.
Homer the alpaca.
Well, cool. I think we've got a pretty good cohesive party. I think that you guys are delightfully on the cusp of evil, but not too evil.
What?
Definitely not good though. Neutral. You guys are probably in
That's
that like
fair.
lawful, chaotic, and neutral area. Excellent.
I went neutral.
Yeah,
It's kind of
keeps
middle of
things
the
gray.
road.
Just keep
Yeah.
it gray.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Well, like servants of Kalimvor want to make sure the spirits move on.
Hmm.
And usually they don't like undead. But since the skeleton doesn't have a spirit, I'm really just making use of, like you said, raw material.
Yeah.
So I'm riding that edge of I made sure the spirit went on. I said the rites, sent it on to Kalimvor, and then it was just like, and now I've got this flesh pinata that could just get up and move things for me, take a hit or two.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're there for.
And-
It's part of the barreling process.
And
You got to
on
break down the
festival-
bodies.
Right.
Mhm.
And on festival days, I just stuff them with candy and send them out for the children to, hit with bats.
Oh my god. Can you imagine? Just wandering into Hillsfar, with a flesh pinata. Oh, man.
Yes, I can. The children love me. Their parents, not so much.
Yeah. Oh. Oh no. Perfect. Perfect. Well, good. I will be leaving the server up so you guys can finish the characters at your leisure. I'll be
Awesome.
here for any advice you have or need for filling things out or mechanics on Roll20. But I think that's a pretty good session 0 there. We've kind of covered our bases and we've got a party. Beasts of Burden. So the title of the game now is Beasts of Burden, Dark Lore.
Comma, Illithid Activities. Love it.
Yes.
Does anyone have any last minute stuff they want to talk about? We talked about our shows, all that stuff. Go watch everybody's shows for the rest of the week. Gilbert's on Sunday, Chaz's tonight. Tomorrow, usually on Thursdays, I have the Lore but we actually got through the continent last week, so I'm not totally sure what we're doing tomorrow. So there may not be Lore So either come watch it if we do, or don't come watch it if we don't. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 2:30 Eastern. Bye.
Where you will all be murdered.
That's right. Bye.